Frank Cullotta was a member of one of the most dangerous mob crews in history.
Frank was cold-blooded. He was a killer. He was a criminal.
I had no remorse.
He follows his ruthless mob boss, Tony the Ant Spilotro, to Las Vegas for a glittering opportunity to live the high life.
First year in Las Vegas was good, made a lot of money, did a lot of partying, did a lot of gambling. Yeah, it was very good.
But his hopes for hitting the jackpot die.
But then it got to be very bad.
When his boss decides to take him out.
Clean your dirty laundry.
But breaking the mob's code of silence could mean the death of his dark American dream and the end of the entire Chicago outfit.
Do I consider myself a rat? Absolutely.
In Chicago, thanks to bootlegging, Tommy guns, and extreme violence, organized crime first makes a name for itself in the 1920s. Led by the infamous Al Capone, the Chicago mob is known as the Outfit. Under Capone's leadership, the Outfit earns a reputation as the most dangerous mafia gang in the world. By 1975, the Outfit orders the killing of their own boss, Sam Giancana, as he is about to testify for the FBI. That same year, they allegedly orchestrate the disappearance of union leader Jimmy Hoffa. In the 1970s, the Outfit sets its sights on Las Vegas.
Well, the Chicago Outfit's interest in Las Vegas was primarily the operation of skimming at the hotels that they controlled.
Dennis Arnoldi is a retired FBI agent assigned at the time to the Las Vegas division.
I worked in the area of organized crime, specifically the Chicago Outfit.
In the 1970s, the Outfit controls 3 casinos in Las Vegas. Mob boss Tony the Ant Spilotro runs their operations on the Strip. Despite his small stature that earned him his nickname, Spilotro is a notoriously ruthless enforcer for the Outfit.
Tony Spilotro was a tough guy. He could really handle himself.
In 1971, Spilotro sets up shop in Vegas to handle the Outfit's business there, fencing stolen goods, extorting locals, and skimming gambling profits. By 1979, business is booming for the Outfit, but Spilotro needs more muscle to control the casinos. He turns to his childhood friend from Chicago, Frank Cullotta. Cullotta is a second-generation criminal, loyal to the Mafia's code of complete obedience and willing to do whatever it takes to please Spilotro.
Frank Cullotta was cold-blooded. He was a killer. He was a criminal. Tony trusted Frank to do the right thing for the Outfit.
And I said, what are you expecting out of me out here? What's my function going to be? He, first of all, wanted me to watch his back to make sure that he wouldn't get whacked. He also wanted me to keep in contact with pit bosses, casino managers, and the Stardust. What I've learned about being connected to the Outfit is you definitely had to follow the protocol. If you went against it, you were going to get either reprimanded, beaten up, or killed.
Cullotta also realizes there is money to be made in Vegas for himself and the Outfit, which gets a cut of any crime an associate commits.
It did look like easy pickings, probably, to the Chicago Outfit.
You know, everybody wants to move to Vegas. It was a town, you know, people think the streets are lined with gold. Sure, I thought it was a great opportunity to live in Vegas.
The exploits of Cullotta and his boss, Tony Spilotro, became the basis for Martin Scorsese's 1995 film, Casino. In the movie, the character based on Tony Spilotro was played by Joe Pesci, and Frank Cullotta by actor Frank Vincent. And just like in the film, the real mobsters have Vegas in their back pockets.
A lot of money was going out through the skimming, and they wanted to make sure that it was getting back to them in Chicago.
So far, local law enforcement is powerless to stop the mob's reign over Sin City. But a crackdown is coming, one that will eventually weaken the Outfit's hold on Vegas forever. In Vegas, Tony Spilotro asks Cullotta to put together a crew of the best criminals he can find. A team that would come to be known as the Hole-in-the-Wall Gang.
Back in the early 80s, alarm systems were not as sophisticated as they are today. Frank Cullotta's crew understood this. Therefore, they would often just bash a hole in the side of the wall. Therefore, they earned the nickname as the Hole in the Wall Gang.
Cullotta's team will also function as professional enforcers for the outfit.
The guys in my crew that I put together, one was a master burglar. His name was Leo. The other one was a soldier, Ernie. Wayne was also an armed robber with a clean face. When I say clean face, he could give up face to pull an armed robbery because he lived in Chicago, he'd come back and forth. Then I had Larry. He was a killer. No different than a serial killer. Loved to kill.
Close your eyes. Frank's crew in Las Vegas certainly would deal with people that they felt had stolen money from the mob, cheated the mob, that type of thing. They were used for that type of situations.
Spilotro also plans to use Cullotta's crew to earn some easy money. He guarantees them a piece of the action, and then he sets the Hole in the Wall gang loose on Las Vegas. For Cullotta, it's a chance to live it up in Las Vegas and improve his standing in the mob. As long as he stays on the good side of Spilotro and the Chicago outfit, the opportunities seem endless.
We robbed a lot of drug dealers. They were the easiest ones to rob. We robbed everything there was to be robbed as long as there was money involved. First year in Las Vegas was good, made a lot of money. A lot of money. We robbed a lot of jewelry stores. Yeah, it was very good. The one who makes the most money's got the most power. It's all about money.
Cullotta's crime spree makes him a rising star in the Vegas criminal world. And the job comes with perks.
Did a lot of partying, did a lot of gambling. I had a lot of girls around me. You know, they wanted to be around wise guys. It was a glamorous life.
But Cullotta's increasing status in the outfit is threatened after he becomes involved with a small-time crook and drug dealer named Jerry Lisner.
Jerry Lisner was an individual in Las Vegas. He had a reputation as a con man.
I was introduced to this Lisner guy, and I didn't like this guy very much because I could see he was sort of like a weasel.
He approached Frank one time regarding a scam he was going to run.
When Lisner found out who I was connected to, meaning Tony Spilotro, he latched on to me.
But Spilotro and Cullotta find out that Lisner is cooperating with the feds.
Jerry Lisner testified in a federal grand jury. At that point, Frank and Tony were concerned about what he might have said.
We got to kill him.
Cullotta, following mob rules, obeys Spilotro.
I never got any joy out of killing people. That's what I had to do. I mean, if I was ordered to do it, whatever it was, I'd have to do it. Motion goes out the window.
Hey, Frank. How you doing, baby?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, all right. What's up?
With his lookout man, Wayne, outside, Cullotta moves in for the kill. Cullotta, always the loyal soldier, carries out his orders.
I shoot him in the head. First two went in there, they were rapid, real fast. Bang, bang. He's running.
What are you doing? What?
Still running, and I know I'm shooting him in the head. And I just can't understand why nothing's happening.
Murdering Lisner proves more difficult than expected.
Natural reaction for anybody, if you're this far into a murder, is to complete it. So the best thing I could do was strangle him. The cord just snapped. Meanwhile, there's blood all over the place.
Then, Cullotta hears someone enter the apartment.
My first reaction when the door was open was get myself in a defense mode where I could attack. And it was Wayne. If somebody else came in that door, I would have had to kill him.
Frankie, what do you need? Bullets.
He must have heard the shots, wonders why I'm not coming out, so he comes in to give me a hand. I reload the gun, put a pillow in the back of his head, and I emptied the rest out in his face. You're almost at a bit of panicking right at that time.
Cullotta does whatever it takes to get the job done, expecting that Spilotro will be loyal in return.
I drag him and I throw him into the pool. So wash anything, evidence he had on him of me, goes in the pool.
Frank Cullotta and Tony Spilotro would only consider it a business situation. Whether they liked him or not, they felt that murder would have to be conducted in order to protect them specifically and the outfit in general.
Las Vegas police suspect that the outfit has something to do with the killing and numerous other crimes around the city, but they don't have any hard evidence yet.
It's a small town, and you're not going to get away with it forever.
Especially with a new lawman in town. Sheriff John McCarthy and his team vow to rid Vegas of organized crime.
And they swore that they were going to bring down Tony Spilotro and Frank Cullotta. They swore that they were going to end organized crime in Las Vegas.
McCarthy put Spilotro's crew under almost constant surveillance.
It was 24 hours a day they would follow us, but yet we were still able to commit robberies.
The mob is beating the feds at their own game.
One thing we had going for us as professional criminals, we had people monitoring their calls, the police calls, plus the detectives' calls. Any cops that were undercover, our radio system was top of the line. We had a better communication system than they did. So we were a step ahead of them at all times.
But Cullotta makes a mistake when he ignores the outfit and commits a crime solely for his own gain. Frank uses his gang to steal furniture for his own house.
They go in and they empty this whole place, and they bring it to my new house.
A neighbor spots Cullotta and his gang suspiciously moving new furniture into his house.
The following morning at 6 a.m., my wife goes and answers the door. Everybody's there, the whole police department. And they took us both to jail, my wife in her slip and me in my robe.
It was this petty burglary that would eventually lead to the end of mob control of Las Vegas. The public arrest angers Cullotta's boss, Tony Spilotro, and he refuses to pay Cullotta's bail.
With all these problems, my relationship with Tony was strained.
While Frank Cullotta was in jail, he was not making any money. And if you're not making any money, what good are you?
But Cullotta has more than prison to worry about if he doesn't stay in Spilotro's good graces.
At this particular time, I had to find a score that was going to be well worth our while.
The payoff for Cullotta must be big enough to give Spilotro a healthy cut and pay his own legal bills. Once he forks over the cash for his own bail, Cullotta gets a tip about a local jewelry store.
And they said that this place could possibly have $1 million in jewelry and cash in there.
This could be the most lucrative heist in Cullotta's criminal career. It could also be his last chance to keep Spilotro from turning on him. But Cullotta is short a driver for the jewelry heist. His associate Ernie brings in a new man, Sal.
Well, Ernie meets this guy, Sal Romano. I didn't like Sal. For some reason, I had this gut feeling that the Sal guy was a bad guy.
Unbeknownst to Cullotta, Sal is secretly working with FBI agent Dennis Arnoldi.
The FBI and the Metropolitan Police Department working together. It was through Sal Romano we learned of the burglary.
Sal was to drive the station wagon there, park it, and when they unloaded it, bring it to another spot. We had torches and all the equipment you would need to go through the roof into a vault. Larry, Sal, and I remained on the ground for communication.
Let's get the job done, okay? Let's get the job done. Sal, are you hearing me? You in there? Talk to me, Sal.
Suddenly, Sal vanishes.
I had no idea where he was. I knew he wasn't there. I said, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, I got a gut feeling this guy's a rat. So I seen a car at the end of the block. And I said, that looks like the feds down there.
Yeah.
Then they come in from all directions.
Step out the car.
And then they arrested me. And I seen that they had my 3 guys on the concrete out in front. They took them off of the roof, and they were cuffing them, with the exception of Sal Romano.
Thanks to his long criminal career, Frank is facing a possible life sentence. The arrest could also mean the end of his rocky relationship with his boss, Tony Spilotro.
I'm sitting in the Clark County jail, and I'm sort of mad at Tony.
He had always been told if this happened to you, the outfit would take care of your wife and family, but his was not being taken care of. He needed an attorney, and he asked Tony Spilotro for help, but Tony would only come up with part of the money.
He never said, I'm sorry, I made the wrong call on this. He didn't help on any of the bails. Sure, I'm mad at Tony for not helping.
Frank knows that behind bars, he's a sitting duck as far as the outfit's concerned.
He knew, being in jail, the outfit would think that he might possibly become a government witness, and therefore would kill him.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to get over it, and then I get a visit.
The FBI brings a tape of a conversation they want Frank to hear, a warning that his life is in danger.
And that's when I heard that audio tape.
I'm telling you, we've got to do something about Frank.
One of the alpha guys in Chicago telling Tony, clean your dirty laundry.
Vegas, 1982. Frank Cullotta learns his old friend and mob boss, Tony Spilotro, has put a hit out on him. He knows he must make a decision.
And I sat there and I started thinking and thinking about how wrong things were going for me with Tony.
Realizing his promising future with the mob is unraveling, Cullotta makes a life-changing decision.
I was angry. I felt as though I was betrayed. So I called the FBI. Then we sat down and I gave him all this information that I had.
Cullotta's defection is a major coup for law enforcement.
I worked very steadily with Frank Cullotta from the time he became a government witness in 1982 for several years.
By 1983, Cullotta's testimony led to the indictment of 18 people on federal racketeering charges, including Tony Spilotro. Cullotta fingered Spilotro as the mastermind behind the hole-in-the-wall gang, who the FBI believed committed at least 200 robberies between 1980 and 1981. Cullotta also tied Spilotro to the Jerry Lisner killing.
Tony Spilotro and his associates were eventually indicted in federal court in Las Vegas, and they went to trial. The trial ended in a mistrial.
But Spilotro was also a suspect in more than 20 murders. With 3 more high-profile trials still to come, in 1986, he finally met the same fate as many of his fellow mobsters.
Not too long after that, Tony Spilotro and his brother were killed by their associates in the Chicago outfit. Both Tony and Michael had been beaten to death.
The Spilotro brothers were dumped in a grave in an Indiana cornfield. The film Casino recreated the killings in a scene considered one of the most violent in motion picture history.
I was not happy with it. Truly, I didn't like the idea of the way they killed him. I figured if they wanted to kill him, why don't they just shoot him in the head? Or strangle him. Why beat him to death, you know? Why make him suffer?
Spilotro's brutal murder ended an era in Las Vegas. The mob would never regain its power on the Strip, and in fact, Sin City cleaned up its image in the 1980s, billing itself as a family destination. Frank Cullotta served 8 years in prison for his crimes. When released, Cullotta joined the Witness Protection Program, leaving behind his Vegas lifestyle. It took years for Cullotta to come to terms with his own decision to break the mob's code of honor he had followed for so long.
It's a very, very difficult decision to make when you grew up into a world like I grew up in. Everybody's honorable to everybody. It's the syndicate, the outfit that comes first.
But today, the infamous outfit is not nearly as strong as it once was. In the last 30 years, trouble with the law leaves only about 50 made members, down from approximately 300 during the outfit's heyday. For Cullotta, Hollywood came calling, and in 1995, in addition to appearing as a hitman known as Curly in Scorsese's Casino, he became a consultant on several TV shows and films. Today, Cullotta lives with the consequences of his actions, but he'll never find peace.
Do I consider myself a rat? Absolutely. I'm probably gonna always be paranoid till the day I die about who's in back of me.
Frank Cullotta has every reason to live his life looking over his shoulder.